Hello everyone, this is Ask Dr. Sandey. Hope you've all called everyone you need to call, your parents, your relatives, your friends. Call some on the phone, text some and tell them we are on. Time to get answers to your questions. We have lots of questions that you sent during the 2 weeks period that we had after the last episode, okay? So get ready to get answers to your questions. And if you have more questions, which you should put them down in the comment section as we go on today, and we will pick them up. Maybe we'll answer them today or maybe the next episode, okay? So fasten your seatbelts, call everyone you need to call, and let's get started. Hello, sir.
Yes, how are you going, Nkiru Ojimadu?
I am good. So this is Dr. Sandey Adelaja for those of us that are tuning in for the first time. And I forgot to say share so that others will know that we are on.
Yeah, go share.
Yes, I am very good, sir. How are you?
Well, fine.
I've not seen you for some days.
Just a few days. Those people over there, they have not seen me ever. They have never ever seen me.
So, my people, let me talk in an African language. Yeah, hope you are all doing good too, right? The weather is so beautiful today, so we decided to do this outside.
What a beauty.
I am telling you.
Thank God we resisted the temptation of staying inside.
Exactly.
To the disappointment of some people, but to the joy of the whole nation.
So, as Dr. Sandey was saying, I hope the wind will carry something off my head. Actually, yeah, it's so enjoyable. Yeah. For those of you that watched yesterday's program by 9 p.m. that Dr. Sandey Adelajah had, one of the topics on truth, the truth series. You heard that the more oxygen you breathe, the healthier you are. So that is one of the reasons we are out here, okay? So I think we should get started so that we will be able to answer as many questions as possible, right?
Yes.
Okay, number one question says, good day, Pastor Sandey. I've just come across you from a post on your blog about God using 3 lions to save an evangelist.
Yeah.
Do you believe we are in the last days? Furthermore, reading some of the testimonies on your blog about Muslims giving their lives to Christ and being baptized impacted me and my daughters. Here in Australia, some people don't care about salvation. We have a lot of Muslims and most of them not friendly. Most of them are not friendly, pushing their lifestyle, wanting Sharia law. Some have more than one wife, collecting multiple benefits, while we Australians are getting knocked back. If these testimonies are real and true, I would like to know how to reach out to the Muslims. Was it through your 21 days fasting and intercessory prayer? Because I want a breakthrough for my nation and government, because the people of Australia have had enough of the lies and spin going on. Thank you for your time and your answer. The first question was, do you believe we are in the last days?
Well, we've been in the last days since the times of Jesus and Paul. They have been saying we are in the last days. In the writings of Paul, he has been addressing the topic of the last days. Even Jesus had addressed the topic of last days. So if they are talking about the last days since that time, it means we are even in a more last day of this time. So yes, definitely we're in the last days, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be in our lifetime. I personally am planning for the next 300 to 500 years, so the last day is here for sure. So, but I don't think we should bother ourselves about that. What we should bother ourselves about is to serve God the best we can. Let's do our best. Let every one of us serve the Lord the best he can. And, everybody's last day will come sooner or later. Everybody's last day comes when he dies. And since we are going to die, that last day will come for everyone. There is no option unless Jesus, comes in resurrection. Otherwise, yeah, we are in the last days, but I don't think we should bother ourselves with that. Let's bother ourselves more with doing our best to fulfill our purpose in life right now. So what was the second question?
The second question is, how can he reach the Muslims?
Well, the Muslims, you are talking about how hard they are. I think she said something about that.
Yeah, that they marry like more than one wife. They try to get benefits from this, I believe,
and they try to spread their religion,
yeah,
and they're not
to impose Sharia law, right?
Well, yeah, I think all those things are true, but I've learned in my short life that don't judge things the way they first appear. Never judge things the way they first appear, because the first appearance of a thing is almost always deceptive. So when you see Muslims trying to talk about Sharia, that is because we think that they are savage. We think that is being valiant, that is being villain, and that is being wicked and arrogant. But what I see, if you take a second look, what I will see there is frustration, pain, hopelessness. They are looking for hope. They are looking for expression. They are looking for life. They are trying to find out. So, for example, the reason why they would demand for Sharia is because they know that things are not okay with their life. So they are now thinking, if they will put this Sharia, maybe it will improve their life. It's an attempt to discover life. But we know that life is in Christ. So because we know that, what we could do for them is to love them with the love of Christ. When they discover that love, they will discover life. And when they discover life, all the agitations will rest.
Whoa. Did you hear that? Is that not why I said I was disturbing everybody with my flyers? When you start showing people love, there's no way they will not want to know your God. But when we start throwing Bible verses on people, wearing religion, my church this, my church that, nobody will come to you. But when people see liquid love, they follow it. It doesn't matter who preaches it. Then if you call yourself a Christian, that's more of a reason why you should, preach Christ, because Christ is love. You should preach love because love is Christ. I really love that answer. And that now comes back to what Dr. Sandey was saying not long ago, that the pure in heart, we see God. Coming to, is the word ending or is it not ending? If you're pure in heart, you will see God. And if you're pure in heart, it's only love that can exude from there and affect the people around you.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other question the person asked is it the 21-day fasting that you did that helped you to convert Muslims?
No, I don't think I'm a world record holder in converting Muslims, because we don't have too many Muslims here. I've been able to convert a few, but but is it 21 days fast? No, it's love. The name of the game is love.
I love that. The name of the game is love. I love that quotation. Tweet it somewhere. The name of the game is love. Then when they ask you questions, you will answer, okay? All right, the second question says, am I wrong in my position to say I have a purpose, a vision, unto the people of my own land? Miles Monroe changed my course for all times, and so have you. My question is this: I know I cannot quit my job, yet my all yearns to gain knowledge, understanding, and
what?
My all, everything in me.
Wants to get.
Yeah, yearns to gain knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. I listen to downloads constantly. 8 hours, easy, on a daily basis.
What is download?
Download of your teachings, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. 8 hours on a daily basis, easy. It's easy for him to listen straight 8 hours. Can I be a miracle? Meaning, I know I can't just walk away from my job, yet I have this yearning, a faith that God will make a way. There are many keys to unlocking the kingdoms, which I am understanding by beginning is knowledge. I believe that miracles are few. Is it a wrong position for me to believe I'm one? Meaning, God can call me out from my job with nothing to fulfill his purpose through my life. Thank you for your time, sir. Okay, let's go back to the question. Am I wrong in my position to say I have a purpose, a vision unto the people of my own land? That's the first question.
On that one, you are not wrong. You definitely have a call and a purpose, and every one of us does. Every one of us have a purpose and a calling. And to your own people, okay, yeah, it could be to your own people if that is the people you are feeling burdened for. If you are feeling the burden and the concern and the inspiration to minister to those people, that means that's your calling. So you cannot be wrong about that one. Thank God that you discover your calling.
All right, coming to being called to your people, remember that Dr. Sandey Adelaja has a project that is also consigned to his people, which we call Nigeria Transformation Project. So if you want to know more about this, you should go to sandeyadelajablog.com/Nigeria, and you will get the information or instructions of what to do to join this movement. It is called Nigeria Transformation Project, where Dr. Sandey Adelaja's heart beats for his people. So you cannot be wrong because he does the same. Okay, just waiting for the right time, for God's permission, to resolve things here before he moves. And apart from that, we have Dr. Sandey Adelaja, which is the page you're watching now on Facebook, where you can connect with Dr. Sandey Adelaja. So please like the page if you haven't, and share this video. I'll get you. So share the video, and on YouTube, you can also watch Dr. Sandey Adelaja anytime. His YouTube is Sandey Adelaja Official. Sandey Adelaja Official on YouTube. All right, second part of this guy's question says, I can easily watch your download of your videos, I believe, constantly, 8 hours on a daily basis. And this helps me to grow in my faith. Can I be a miracle? Meaning, I know I can't just walk away from my job. You know, he's trying to say, can he say that he is a miracle?
No, I think he's trying to ask for a miracle from God after walking away from his job. He wants to walk away from his job and wants God to supernaturally provide for him and his needs.
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Okay.
So what I would say about that is, if you have been listening to my messages and then you find it, you have all the time to spend like 8 hours a day to listen, beautiful, then you are the kind of guy that I like, because then I could give you direction on the messages to go listen to, and then you will get your answer there. I will give you a short answer now, but if you go to those messages, like I want to go to YouTube now, you go to YouTube, you will see go to YouTube, go to my home page. You go to Sandey Adelaja Official. I'm sure if you have been listening to 8 hours, I'm sure you know my YouTube. So if you go to that home page, you'll see all my teachings in series. And one of the things that you need to do is to listen to the series that is called How to Be an Architect of Your Life, The Miracle-Centered Gospel, and Who Wins in Life. They are like, okay, one is 27, series 27, series 28, and series 29. So that is The Miracle-Centered Gospel, How to Be an Architect of Your Life, and Who Wins in Life. So series number 27, 28, 29. So those series will actually give you a more detailed answer to your question. Yeah, is miracle a possibility? Definitely, it will. In fact, I have to give you another one, because you could actually, stop working, no problem in stopping to work and quitting your job. You can, but there are other series that address that question. What do you do if you happen to lose your job or quit your job? So these are series 10, why losing your job is a blessing. And then series 11, the time and conversion series. And then series 12, the work series. So series 10, 11, 12 will also, contribute to you greatly. So, but the way to do it is to apply wisdom rather than hope for miracles. So you are hoping for a miracle that you will leave your job and God will give you a miracle. Well, why don't you do why don't you do it the other way? Why don't you sit down and plan, make arrangement, planning for what you are planning to do and what you will be doing once you quit your job. So sit down, but for you to be able to even know how to plan and what to plan, you will need to listen to those series, because they will give you directions and suggestions on what to plan and how to plan and what area of thought you want to direct yourself. So, go listen to those things first, those messages first, then sit down, make a plan, make sure that you have a secured plan to sustain yourself for the next, at least 1 year, for the next 12 months. Or better still, for the next 24 months, so that you know exactly what will happen to you and your family once you quit your job. And then you could, take it from there and begin to do your work of, trying to salvage your country. But I did the same thing. I quit my job, and of course I had to live by faith, but I had programs and plans, and I had reserves to fall back on. And and I had to put things in place. If not, nothing will work. You will be disappointed. God would not just do miracles for anybody that has not done his best. Miracles come after you have done your best.
Yeah, I really love that line, that you have to have some reserves to fall on. So when you listen to
especially if you are married.
and have
That's
children,
a woman's thought right there, and have children.
you will tell them that you're waiting for a miracle when your kid comes to you that he's hungry. So go and listen to those series and you will get all the tips that you need. You might need to work for more 6 months or 1 year, I don't know, 2 years to save, for you to be able to now come and wait for your miracle. But if you don't do anything and wait for miracle, Dr. Sandey doesn't preach that, okay? No. You do your best, then God will add to your best, and that becomes the miracle, okay? I was given the testimony, a line that, recently, most of us did cleansing, yep. that was started by Dr. Sandey Adelaja, and I noticed that I lost some weight, and the pains that I had on my knees just disappeared. That's a miracle right there.
Miracle.
But you had to do something, okay? There are some things that we have to do ourselves and not just disturbing God with all kinds of
some seeds.
No, sir.
Some faith seed like that, or prophetic. No. We have to identify which one worked.
They might be telling you it's your stepmother in the village that has, I don't know, what do they call it?
That has
buried your knee somewhere.
Wow.
All kinds of things we have with our funny preachers, okay? We have good preachers and we have funny ones, and some of them are like comedians. It's a pity. So do something and God will add to your miracle. That's the way it goes, and that's the way God works, okay? God doesn't love laziness, okay, my people? It's my people I'm using these days. All right, so you heard it. Where to go to on YouTube, Sandey Adelaja Official. That's the Dr. Sandey's channel on YouTube. Okay, and if you want to write Pastor Sandey personally, you can also write to pastor@godembassy.org. He is known to always answer to your letters, not minding how big he is. He finds time for everyone, and that makes him so unique, okay? So write Dr. Sandey if you have personal issues that you want him to discuss with you, okay? To pastor@godembassy.org. All right, let's go to the next question. What kind of poor, widows, and strangers did God instruct the tithes should be used for? Is it any widow or just those in the house of faith?
They were instructed to take care of their neighbors. And when Jesus defined, because that question is a question of a cunning person. That same question was asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? I mean, I'm a good person, so who is my neighbor? You want to escape. So, is it my relative or it's cunning question. It's a cunning question. So, who is my neighbor? Anybody that is in the image of God. So you tell me, if image of God is only people who belong to your church, who has it? That's what anybody that's in the image of God is your neighbor. Muslim, Christians, non-Christians, not just your church members. When Jesus answered that question, he was actually talking about somebody, nobody knows the identity of the person who was beaten. So he didn't give it, he didn't say that person is a Jew. He didn't say that person is a Samaritan. He didn't say that person is a believer or another. He didn't give any identity. Right. Just on somebody, a certain man, he said. So anybody who is a man is your neighbor. And the person who helped him was the Samaritan, but not the person who was wounded is a Samaritan. So he didn't give identity. So any human being who needs you, who needs your help, because if you help the widow that is an unbeliever, there is a possibility that love will win the person to Christ.
Exactly.
And then if it is a widow in your own church also that needs the love of God, he needs to get it.
Right. I can actually say that this right here is one of the secrets of winning souls, right? Because that's what you've been doing all these years, going to the down and out, and that has been one of the secrets of that big church that you created there, because you search for those that needed help and not just those that are the same color with me or those that you just went out there into the metro, the subway.
Same color with me,
yeah, so you went out there and just searched for the lost and got them. And when you come to a hungry person with a Bible verse, without giving him a cup of water and bread to eat, the probability that he will listen to you is 0. Okay, so let's be wise in applying God's word in what we are doing. Okay, next question. Is it wrong for churches to build libraries, sports centers, and promote innovations? We have not seen the church do much.
Yeah, it's not wrong at all. That is an instrument to reach out to the community, to your neighbors. And those are very effective instruments, but it's a pity that the churches just want to invite people to come to their auditorium. And that's a pity, because they think that those, spending so much money out there will not guarantee that those people become their church members. It's about egocentrism in their evangelism, yeah.
I actually want to commend Pastor Uchechukwu Amadi in Nigeria. I'm sorry if I'm bringing it up, but I saw his post.
Okay.
Where he's really doing research in Nigeria.
That is in Port Harcourt.
Yes. Where he's reaching out to the people in the psychiatrist hospital and people in his neighborhood that don't even belong to his church. You understand? So let's change the way we do church. Let's reach out to all the needy and the wanting in our society, and not just focus on those that we have brought into our four walls. That is the real gospel. Okay, next one. Good day, sir. I have been listening to your Facebook teachings for a short while now, and I have learned so many things. I needed some answers to some troubling questions I had. So I decided to search for you on YouTube to see if there are teachings on this. In this process, I came across a teaching on you can be your own prophet. You said, somewhere along the line that one can get whatever they want if they work hard. I am a medical doctor from Nigeria living in the USA. I have been struggling to take my board exams but have not been successful for 8 years. I have refused to give up because this is what I really want to do. When I got to USA in 2010, I got married, had a baby, and began studying for my boards. Around the period, I noticed objects are moving in my body like worms or serpentine-like. It was so much I was scared, could not study because I was uncomfortable. I told my husband, and he was angry with me that he did not begin to have a wife with mental issues.
Tough man.
Oh my God. I told him I do not have mental issues. I decided to stop telling him my experience because he is not even saved and does not even know anything about Jesus. This has been going on for years, up till now, but not as much as before. I confided in my sister years later, and she told me she and another of my sister are having similar experience. My mom came to visit us in USA this year. I told her, she said she also experienced it some time ago, but it stopped when she started attending Redeemed Church and was praying a lot. When I had the experience, I fasted, prayed, and even cried to God for deliverance. It's much better now, but I still feel the strange object moving sometimes. How can you explain this? I truly want to practice my medical profession. I read for hours, yet my results are poor. Any advice will help. Why don't you preach about demons and witches because they oppress God's children a lot? Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have a teaching on demons and evil spirit. I'm trying to look for the message now. One of them is called, you can look for regrets, misconceptions in churches have today. Misconceptions churches have today. You can go and find it on my YouTube page. It's under the Hard Talk. If you go to the file, the playlist that's called Hard Talk, you'll be able to find that one there. And also, concretely about the question you are saying now, go look for the message that is called The Case for God versus Witchcraft. The Case for God versus Witchcraft. An insult to my God and my faith. The Case for God versus Witchcraft. So it's also in the Hard Talk file on my YouTube page. So if you go and listen to that message, you will know that really it's not a big deal what you are experiencing. It is real, it is possible, but I don't want to offend you, right? But you are suffering that thing because of what you don't know. It is what we don't know normally that kills us. It is not Satan that is so powerful. My people are perished for lack of knowledge. So you need to know a few things. And once you discover that, those few things, you will come to thank me later on. It's not normal for you to be giving exams for 8 times and not passing. And now I can see the reason, because you are distracted. You are distracted thinking about these things, objects in your body moving. First of all, anyway, don't let me go in there. Just go and listen to those teachings. It's because, anyway, forget. Go and listen to the teachings, because I don't want to go into too much details of that.
Yeah, so you go to Sandey Adelajah Official on YouTube and look for the series Hard Talk, and you will get the messages that will address this issue. And if I might add my little 2 pence, most of us suffer from these things also, from the things we have heard through the years. Like some will say they are told they have spiritual husbands or whatever. You know, if you've been going from one deliverance house to the other, and they have been naming you this, that you have husbands everywhere in the spiritual world and children, you come to believe it and you start seeing it. You understand? So go and get your deliverance by listening to these videos and know that he that is in you is greater than every other worm that is in the body or whoever causes it. Okay? Listen and give us your testimony.
Yes, and you could also go to check on another file on that same YouTube page, Sandey Adelaja Official, which is my YouTube page. Is brainstorming sessions. It's called with DSA. Brainstorming sessions with DSA. You will be able to find similar topics there that will have been addressed.
All right, brainstorming sessions with DSA and Hard Talk also, both on Sandey Adelaja Official on his YouTube page. Okay, next question. Okay, before I go to the next question, we also know that Dr. Sandey Adelaja is the #1 best-selling writer. You know that. He has books everywhere.
Not on Satan yet.
No.
It will come out this year.
Yeah, not on Satan and deliverance yet. Yeah, but it will come out this year. But every topic you can think of. I don't know. Where should I start from? Starting from relationships, children, finances, hearing the voice of the Lord, knowing your God better, anything. Okay, you can get his books by just typing Sandey Adelaja on Amazon.com or Okada Books if you are in Nigeria or in Africa. Do yourself some favor and get delivered even before, you know, by the time you finish reading a book, you will get deliverance on a lot of topics. I am a witness, okay? So go and get those books and help yourselves and your family at the same time. Sandey Adelaja on Amazon.com or on Okada Books or everywhere books are sold. Most of his books are New York bestsellers. Right. Okay, next question. I have followed you on Facebook. No, I have followed you on Facebook and follow your teachings. Your teachings are setting me free. Sir, can the church embark some token? Earmark, yeah. Okay, I don't know that word. Yeah. Can some church earmark some token to push these messages with the major radio houses in Lagos and other cities in Nigeria, like a campaign?
Yes.
A whole lot of people need to hear this truth in these numerous teachings. Presenters would only push well once you have some token for them. My honest opinion, though, grace and mercy to you, sir.
Oh yeah, beautiful. We are going to earmark, not just earmark. We are going to put in a lot of budget into promoting the books and materials and the teachings. But I started to do that while I was here. That's why I've adopted the principle that no, until I go, I will not do anything. Because the budget just kept on getting expanded, just getting fatter every month.
Nigeria.
So it's not. So what I would say to this person though is that if you can come up with a plan and a program, and you know something about the topic, and you would like to help us advertise and promote and put this message out there, and come up with a budget and a program, it will be a pleasure to consider to working with you in that regard.
All right. So you heard it. For this, write to Pastor at godembassy.org,
yes,
right?
Please.
Yeah, and Pastor, bring up your proposals and what you have. Maybe you will be our savior on that line concerning this thing. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I am a student at the University of Technology here in the West Africa, Nigeria. Sir, have read your book named Money Won't Make You Rich. But sir, I'm a student of the age 24 and I don't really get your concept on it. because I'm not working yet. I'm collecting a stipend from my parents. So I will love you to advise me as a student to know what to do and how I can become an investor. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, if the book is not enough and it's not clear enough for you, no problem. You need to go to Sandey Adelajah Official on YouTube and go to series number 4, I suppose. That's the series on financial teachings and teachings on money. If you will listen to all those teachings there, if the book is not clear enough, that one will be clear enough for sure.
Okay, where to go? Sandey Adelaja Official on Facebook or YouTube. Sandey Adelaja Official on YouTube on the series on finances. Series number 4. We will confirm that, but I'm sure it should be. That will surely give you your answer on financial teachings. All right. Okay, next question. Sir, I really want to know why some men of God always milk their members with the word.
Always what?
Milk.
Milk.
Yeah. Milk their members with the word first fruit offerings. I know it is scriptural, but I don't seem to understand it very well. The reason why I ask this is because I have a brother who used to work with a very good company, and suddenly after his marriage, he lost his job. But before then, whenever he comes around, he always gives something to those men of God. But something happened. After he lost his job, he went to his pastor, and after the prayers, his pastor said that God has answered his prayers, and God said that when he got the new job, he should bring his first salary to his church as first fruit offering. And after some days, I also invited him to come and see my pastor, who prayed with him and said that God said whenever he got this job, he should bring the first salary as first fruit offering to his own church too. Also, my sister's pastor said the same thing. Please, sir, I'm so sorry. Where will he now send the money, since the Bible said God is not an author of confusion? Though he has gotten the job, but instead of giving it to any church, he took part of it and shared it to the 3 so-called men of God. But me, I want to understand, because to me, those men of God lied, even though God spoke, but they were selfish. Thank you.
So what's the question? First fruit. I think it started with first fruit.
Yeah, first fruit. He's saying that, the question is...
Okay, let me start while you are reading. Well, let me start with the first fruit. Concerning the first fruit, anybody that preaches that or that is talking about that, they are a fraud. It is robbery, daylight robbery, just for you to know. There is no teaching or concept of first fruits in the Bible, in the New Testament. So if you still, if you meet anybody that talks about first fruit, tell them to show you at least one scripture in the New Testament. It is not a New Testament doctrine, and it is not tenable today. It's just a scam and a fraud.
Yeah, I think you just answered this question, because he wanted to understand the meaning of this first fruit thing. That's his main question with his story. So you heard it. We had Pastor Sandey just finished series on the prostitution of tithe and offering. The other one is your church a cult.
One of them is first fruit too.
Yeah, one of them is first fruit. So still go to Sandey Adelajah Official on YouTube for more and many of these questions.
Yes, if you go to Sandey Adelajah Official on YouTube, one of the series, I think it's series 34, so it's called Prostitution of Tithe and Offering. Prostitution of Tithe and Offering. Go under that file, you will see the topic on first fruit, and you'll be able to listen to it.
Yes, and I must also add that coming to fruits and offerings and tithes and whatever, it's not only the pastors that are guilty, because we too, we have read that scripture that God will open up all the windows of heaven, and because of our selfishness, we take all we have, waiting to receive from the windows of heaven that never come, that sometimes never comes to you. So it's our selfishness most of the time that make us to give. And I'm not sure God, answers to those prayers. Yeah. Okay, good day. Next question. I have listened to your topics on fighting, tithing, and also read my Bible on how much it is to be paid as tithes. But I still don't understand how many times in a year I have to pay my tithes. Is it 10% every month or every year? I would be very glad if my question is answered. Thank you.
Like I said, tithing is not a commandment. And especially in the New Testament, tithing is not emphasized. But if you believe in your church, you believe in what they are doing, you believe in the vision of the church, and you believe in the integrity of the church, please go ahead. If you feel your heart is leading you to pay your tithes, go ahead and do that. But normally in today's church, people pay tithe every month. But in the Bible, even when they were commanded to pay tithes, in the Old Testament, for the Jews, when the thing was being practiced as a law, or it was actually before the law, when it was being practiced as almost like a law, right? It's not like the rule, it's like a commandment, okay? They only paid tithe twice a year. So if you want to adhere strictly by the scriptures, then it's only twice a year. Then at once in 3 years for the general people who are destitute and who are in need. That one is just for them and for your family members, and it's like a celebration kind of time. So how often should you pay? Do what your heart tells you. I will not tell you that. So I've told you the whole situation, how it is done today, how it was done in the Old Testament, and I've told you that you follow your heart.
So for more details, I'm sure the person that asked this question might have not been following Dr. Sandey Adelaja. So like this page, Dr. Sandey Adelaja on Facebook, and go to Sandey Adelaja Official on YouTube and find all those teachings on tithe, first fruits, and all of them. He answered all the questions. Every other question you can even ask in the future, we are answered with scriptures, okay? Scriptural references. And the last episode we also did was based on tithe. We answered a lot of questions as Dr. Sandey that we did last 2 weeks. So go to Sandey Adelaja Official on YouTube and do yourself some favor and get answers to all these questions. Okay? And for your questions, you can also send your questions to pastor@sandeyadelajablog.com and in the comments, right? In the comments as we go on. Okay, next question. My question goes like this. Is it a sin for a Christian to manage a hotel? And is there any business a Christian is not supposed to do, like sell alcohol?
Yep. I would not think that it's a great business for a Christian to be selling alcohol or running hotel. What could be wrong with hotel? I just don't. Maybe they are talking about strippers or casinos. What do you mean hotel?
It's like it depends
hotel,
on what is allowed there.
What is hotel? Hotel is like a house, like apartment house, and then you offer to people. So I don't see any problem with hotel, but maybe there is a question they might have. Maybe hotels don't even offer sexual or any promiscuous services. Hotels don't do that, right? Hotels just have accommodation. Anybody that wants to come and hire it. So I don't see problem with hotel. Maybe you are talking about brothel, yeah. And what's the other thing?
Selling alcohol.
Selling alcohol. I would not say Christians should engage in that kind of business. If you are working there as a worker, it's something else. If you are employed there to work, that's something that you are just serving. But to own it and run it, I would not advise a Christian to do that.
Okay, I will even give an example. There's one big hotel in my city. I come from another city, Kharkov in Ukraine here, and it's the biggest hotel in the city. My dream is like, what if I'm the owner of this hotel? What a great way to evangelize the gospel, it is free. You come into every, what do they call it? Everything that will be speaking the word of the Lord. You can even make the wallpapers to have God's principles, Have some books on the principles on the people's side table that when they come in the night, they pick it up and they read, That gives you some kind of authority in this hour, preaching of gospel. Let's not just make it traditional. We are called to the word, and hotel is part of that word, not to our church. So we also know teachings from Dr. Sandei Adelaja that what is that quote? That you can worship God in your place of influence. Okay? So if you have a hotel, that's a big influence there to really affect that.
I've told the story of how members of our church were also owning casinos.
Right.
And they were using it, but they were doing it specially to be able to use it as a means of conversion of people. They even had strippers there, but what happened was that it was having it before it became born again. So when it became born again, it's turned into an instrument of salvation.
Wow. So you heard that. Everything can be used to his glory. The most important thing is the motive and doing the right thing. Sandei Adelaja official on YouTube. Tons of messages there that will help us in these issues, because most of the questions there have already been addressed on that page. Okay, next question. This is our time. We still have time. When is the next HMT coming up? I would like to attend. Next HMT is already here, right?
This is for the trainers.
Okay.
But we have another one coming up for teenagers in August. For teenagers in August, the first week of August. So you could go to sundeiadelajablog.com/visit to register for that, or you could just go to my page here, and you see advertisement all the time about that teenagers HMT. But the HMT for general public comes up in November, the first week of November.
Okay, first week of November is the first general HMT for everyone. For trainers, it's coming up soon. For teenagers, go to all Dr. Sandei Adelaja pages, Dr. Sandei Adelaja on Facebook, and some other pages, DSA, type any DSA, and his pages will come up, and you will see the advertisements that have been going on for your information. Okay, next question. How do I deal with rejection as a minister, seeing that you are not accepted by the people you are to preach the gospel to?
I had a series on self-confidence, and one of the things I spoke about there is rejection. So if you go to my YouTube page again, Sandei Adelaja Official, and I think a series started maybe 35 or so, one of the series, you will see self-confidence there. You can go there. But let's talk about your particular situation. You are not accepted by the people you are sent to. I know that Jesus said when you are not accepted, you should leave the sand of your shoes in that place and go to another city. But that injunction was given 2,000 years ago when people were very hostile to the new teaching, which was Christianity. But today, and if you are coming from Africa especially, and Nigeria, I don't think there is that kind of opposition and that kind of rejection that the apostles experienced. So I think the kind of rejection you are talking about is the fact that they are not supportive and they are not maybe giving you all the necessary assistance that you need. So in your own case, I would actually like to address it like this, that your acceptance or rejection is in your own hands. I would rather like to say it like this, that if you want to be loved, you love. If you want to be accepted, why don't you sow that seed? You are a pastor and a minister. You are sent to minister to people, and they are not accepting you. But the Bible also says that my sheep know my voice. Because people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. Why don't you just go ahead and just live a life of care and sacrifice for them, for these people? If you will sacrifice yourself enough for any group of people, they will see your care and your love. Even if some will still reject you, I bet there will be some who will accept you. That's the way I would like to answer that question.
I really love that quote. People don't care how much you know until they care how much you love. No, that didn't put it well. Huh?
How much you care.
Yeah. People don't care how much you know
Until they know
how much you care. Until they know how much you care. So pick that up, meditate on it, go back to the drawing board and know what to do so that people will really see that you really, really care and love them. And it will be, the job will be easier. Because his yoke is actually easy, right? So, okay, where's some love? Next question. Please, what do you think about excommunication in the church?
We don't practice that so much here. Although I would say I've personally excommunicated a few people from our church in our history. But in all our history, I've only excommunicated 2 people. And all of them are women. Because they were... Okay, I don't think it's a crime for women to fall in love, right? But when you are falling in love and you want to do it by force, you want to make me fall now. So one has to, either it is one or the other. Yeah, either it's me getting you or you getting me. So only those are the 2 cases when we had to excommunicate. But otherwise, excommunication, there might be a need for it sometimes, but I think that love wins, first of all. Love wins.
Love wins. And that reminds me, if you didn't watch last night's Truth
Live
Talk,
broadcast.
I would say, live broadcast of Dr. Sandey on the truth. What truth is not, right?
What truth is not?
What truth is not. That was so explosive, coming from the title, you will never even guess what the content is. So I urge all of you to go and watch that video, and you will see that one of the points is that no matter how anointed you are born to fall in love even when you are married already. But what you do with it now is the answer. You get the answer in the video, okay? And as a pastor, you have tons of women that are in love with you, but what do you do with it, okay? Even if you're not a pastor, we are all in the flesh. So go and listen to that. Go and listen to that video. Personally, I give my own this thing. I've shared it in one of my videos. I went to buy a case to my phone one time, and this man was just so attractive that I feel that I'm having some feelings. Yeah. I came out, I told my husband, I said,
a white man?
Yeah, a white man. Though he had that tattoo all over his body, but there was some kind of
magnetic
that if I was crazy, some people just go behind the counter and do some things. But I came out from that place, I told my husband, I saw one man that is so attractive to me, just discussion, said, this is my woman, It does not mean that you know God and you speak in tongues and speak in the Holy Ghost that you won't have feelings. You have those feelings, but what do you do with it? Okay, that is the question. So, hope you have shared this video. We are still continuing, maybe one more or two questions. Have you shared the video? Click your share button. Invite your friends so that they will see, even if they didn't start from the beginning, to watch what we discussed, okay? And remember, Sandey Adelaja Official is Dr. Sandey Adelaja's page on YouTube. And he has written tons of books. I can't even count them again. Maybe there are more than 500 now. You know, if you count the Russian ones. Because I know that 2 years ago it was more than 300 books, you know. And during his anniversary, he wrote 550 more. So keep on counting. So go and get his books on Amazon.com just by typing Sandey Adelaja, or his books will come up. And also on Okada Books for those in Africa and in Nigeria. Great stuff. I call his books practical tips on how to practice the Bible. You know, most of us just quote the Bible, put it in our own little what do they call it? Interpretation. But these books bring out a topic and chew it in a way that it's liquid, you can feel it. You understand? That's what the books do. Even sometimes when you don't see Bible quotes there, but it's the word of the Lord, the principles that God has instituted that will help you to live on this earth. That's what we have in those books. Sandey Adelaja on Amazon.com or on Okada Books. You get on any topic you want. Okay, next question. DSA, what do you think is lacking in God's embassy? I mean, I think he means God Embassy Church that you need to improve on.
I've not, what I need to improve on before I leave Ukraine in God Embassy Church is I want to help all the churches, all the God Embassy churches feel in their churches, have growth. Number two, I want to help them get buildings, properties. It's not because buildings are so important, but because, in this part of the world, if you don't have your own property and premises, it's not so good. So those are the things I would like to work on.
Yeah, and moreover, it is winter here. Yeah, you can't just you can't just come together under the tree. Anywhere, yeah, it is winter, 8 months of the year. So, wow, that is so interesting. Okay, you got the answer to that question. I don't think there's more to it. Next question: what is the place of praise and worship in the church?
Good question. That's the question I had hoped for, that people will ask me, especially after I started expressing my negative feelings towards a popular program that was held recently called Hallelujah Challenge, which is a great program. And I want to commend the person who came up with it. But what I condemn about it is not the program itself, but people's response and people's attitude, in the sense that people don't, people are going to church and they're going to those programs for selfish reasons, to get their needs met. But praise and worship, when we talk about praise and worship, you shouldn't be doing it for selfish reasons. You shouldn't be doing it because you want to get you. It's not supposed to be about you at all. When we talk about praise and worship, it's supposed to be about Him. So that's what I condemn. And the way praise and worship is being practiced in churches today, people are doing it for themselves. It's about people. Some people want to do it to get miracles. Some people want to do it to get breakthrough. Some other people want to do praise and worship to show their swag. Like some want to do it to show their moves. Oh, wow. Some want to do it to feel pleasured, to just feel satisfied and stimulated, So those are the kind of things people are doing through in the name of God. So why should we even bring the name of God there? That is the kind of thing God was talking about, that you are using his name in vain. That is abusing the name of God. So, that is putting the name of God as a front, as a facade, but in the real sense, you are actually committing atrocities, because it's all about you. But praise and worship is supposed to be about him, first of all. Now, while you are doing that, God might turn around and reward you and bless you, but that's not your prerogative. Your prerogative should be to honor him, to worship him, and to serve him. So that is the first thing that I would like to say we need to correct in the way praise and worship is being done these days. Number two, praise and worship is not supposed to be corporate. It's not supposed to be a corporate experience. Party is a corporate experience. You can party too and praise God. Celebration is a corporate experience. You could do celebration too and praise God. But real praise and worship is supposed to be a personal affair between you and your master. So real praise and worship is supposed to be an individual, personal affair of the individual believer in the privacy of his own life, or in his privacy of his own home. That is where the real praise and worship is supposed to be taking place. But when you talk about praise and worship today, people are thinking of church. Music. People are thinking of music. And people are thinking of corporate music, praise and worship, which is permissible, but that's not the main praise and worship. The main praise and worship should be taking place in your own individual personal relationship with God, in your own personal life with God. That is where the real thing is supposed to be taking place. But that is almost foreign now to a lot of people. And a lot of people are just looking at praise and worship as, thing that happens in the church. But that's not altogether scripture. Then praise and worship also doesn't have to be about singing and dancing. Praise and worship, first of all, is about your lifestyle. Praising and worshiping God in your lifestyle before God and in your personal relationship with God. Next point. Praise and worship could be the fruit of your lips, as in singing, but not just that. Praise and worship, first of all, must be about subduing the earth or a sphere of life, thereby worshiping him with his creation. Everything has his glory. The plant has his glory. The birds have his glory. Everything God carry has the glory. But God created us to bring those glory of the earth to him. So our own glory, the glory of man, to lay it at his feet. When you are doing that, you are doing the greatest. That's the greatest form of praise and worship.
Wow.
That is why the angels, they were removing their crown and putting it at the feet of God in Revelation. So the glory that we have, we are supposed to be laying it down at his feet, not about dancing and singing.
Now I understand.
Then another point about praise and worship is that praise and worship, those who will worship God must worship him in spirit. So it's a spirit experience between my spirit and God's spirit. So it's not something that is doing somewhere public. It could be, but as a deception. Praise and worship should be, those who worship God must worship him in spirit and in truth. So walking in truth without singing at all is also worship. The ability. So, these are kind of things that people don't know. And when I see all the abuse that is happening, I tell you what, there is suffering in wisdom. Because when you know so much and you are seeing the way people are doing it wrong, you are just so sad. So that's why I always express just my faith. I've been waiting for this question for 2 months now, or since that May when the thing was going on, and I've been talking about it. Nobody is smart enough to say, okay, you tell us how you understand praise and worship, or how it should be done. What is wrong about this thing? Instead of that, people are just attacking me and saying, so we shouldn't praise God again and all that. But now the question has come. Thank God.
Thank God. And you addressed this question also recently when you were in one of the videos. So, Sandey Adelaja official.
So you wanted to say something that now I understand.
Yeah, I want to say that. I now understand why you say, like, when you or somebody feel to thank you, you know, from what he does and say, thank you, Pastor. He said that's the least, that's the least form of gratitude, because it's when you bring up forth your fruit, when you go and duplicate what I've taught you. That is now the thank you that I accept.
It's the same thing with God.
And that is the same thing with God. Now I understand.
So the highest form of worship is when you bring the glory of creation, of why God. Okay, now let me explain that.
Yeah.
For example, God has put in you the potential, the glory to be able to perform to a certain capacity.
Right.
So when you perform to the full capacity, then that glory has been maximized. You have just worshipped and brought the glory of your creation. While you are created, of your life, the fullness of your glory, you have brought it to God. But when you have just utilized maybe 5% of your potential, you have not glorified God. You have not brought your glory to God. But more than that, when you now use your skills and talents and capacities and capabilities to now subdue all the other glory of God's creation to bring to the Lord, it's the ultimate.
You heard that. And that is one of the reasons that Dr. Sandey Adelaja says that where you are, your place of influence, if you are in your calling, doing what God has called you to do, you are worshiping the Lord right there. So it's not only when you sing or dance. I was a cheerleader in the church. If you see me dance, I'm so ashamed of it now, you understand? Making all those steps. Did you see my steps? You know, did you see my clothes? That's what we go to church to do, most of us. Not everybody actually, but me. I confess, I was number one on that. You know, all those my discotheque moves, I brought them into the church, and you know, as you dance, you people watching you, are they clapping for you? It's all selfishness. There's no God in those. So
Egocentrism.
yes. So let us repent of some things and change the way we worship, understand the real meaning of worship.
And when I kind of try to bring balance into this, even in my most devoted followers, I see resistance. They find it tough for them.
Also, it's because religion is so rooted in us that it will take decades. I was chatting with somebody on the platform this morning. It's so rooted that it will take time. Like I said in my own testimony, that sometimes I don't understand. It takes me a little while to catch up with what, you know, the intention of what you're doing. And and those that have not been around also, it will take them even further time. Those are not quick to receive. So God help us. We have to unlearn to learn again, most especially those in Christendom. It's huge. The deception and religion is so huge in us that I can say here only God can help us if we desire to learn, of course, because God won't help anybody that don't want to hear any other thing He has learned 100 years ago. So let's learn. Sandey Adelaja Official is the YouTube channel where you can get videos on any topic that matters, you know, in this life. Any topic, I'm telling you. It's a Google of its own.
And it's like the whole church has bought into that artificial understanding of praise and worship.
Yes. Even some pastors that are like, you have to clear the ground for him to preach by praise and worship. As if you don't do those two fast songs and 3 slow songs, that the anointing will not come. Which is...
So what am I doing with my live broadcast? No music, no Yamaha, nothing.
And people are being delivered. You know, in our church too, we have none of those. You know, of those praise and worship, we call them, but only God knows what they are. So let's change the things that we need to change in the church and bring back the glory of God to earth. You know, that is the command. We also say the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. But we are lacking in that statement, almost all of us. We have to bring back His glory. We have to bring His glory to the earth. by our fruits. By their fruits we shall know them. We still have a lot of questions, but we'll continue next time. Our time is up, right? So, we thank all of you for tuning in with us today, and make sure you have shared this video. As our Queen Mayowa says, share, share, share. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time as we come back with Ask Dr. Sandey. So put down your questions. Even if you watch later, put down your questions in the comments, and we will pick them and see to them the next time we will have this program. So thank you so much, sir, for all your wisdom. And if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, of course you should know. Dr. Sandey Adelaja is the one that I'm sorry, answered all our questions, and you can connect with him by going to
2 times more today. We are coming out.
Yeah, we are coming back 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Kyiv time tonight. Okay, the first one can be anything going from Kingdom Fruits, book review, or attributes of Dr. Sandey Adelaja. And the second that will combine, what's wrong with my voice? 9 p.m. Kyiv time will be on continuation of the series on the truth.
What is truth? Yeah.
What is truth? So make sure you don't miss. Don't even go by the title, because last night the title was something else, but the depth was, oh my goodness, deliverance from relationship, from all kinds of things in one message, even cleansing. Can you imagine that? The truth about your body is just too much. So tune in, just tune in, and the Lord will speak to you through Dr. Sandey Adelaja and the comments people will be making too. So see you soon this evening. Bye from me, Nkiru Jimadu. Bye-bye.
Bye.